All right, here we are, sitting down. We're gonna be sitting down. I need to sit down. I need to sit down. I don't know about you guys, but I need to chill out. Oh, it's cold down here. Cold down here. It was a long day. Long day. Ended okay. Middle of the day was not the best. Not the best. Hey, Brandon's here. Okay. Dan's here too. That's good. Dan, what are you working on these days? There's Larry. I'm bummed, Larry. Larry, you bummed me out. Because I got 30 of those pistons, and if they ain't going to work, yes, it's not good. Hey, Tim. Yeah. I guess so, but how many people are putting together 268s? Yeah, whatever. What's the best of the best aftermarket cylinder piston for Husky cutoff saw? Brandon, like I said, I don't have a great great answer for you because I don't know cutoff saws. Maybe somebody else does. PA Dan just robbed a jet for EL51 for my 7910 build. Is that build going towards the mastermind thing? The next get together, I guess. Trying to finish up an 066 build. Got a 361 yesterday. That's quite a lot of work, Dan. Compression was 185. That's pretty good. So what I'm bummed about these aftermarket 268 pistons. I ended up picking up a whole pile of them on eBay. What I figured I'd do was cut pop-ups for people that wanted these things. Hey, Brian. William Eisen's here. Brian. Who else is here? Yeah, so I figured I'd cut pop-ups on these. These are not expensive. These are aftermarket pistons for 268 for the Husky 268s. And the thing about these is that they have a higher wrist pin to crown height, so you can actually put these on a 372. They're not really intended for 372, but you put them on a 372, just cut a pop-up, and you don't actually need to machine the base of the cylinder to bump up the compression. So it's kind of like cheating to bump up the compression. But I guess I sent a couple to Larry just for the heck of it. And I guess the saw doesn't run so good. Dennis Jensen, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Brian Brady, how's it going? Did I check out Walt's video? I don't remember, Tim. Which one? What's the best aftermarket cylinder and piston for chainsaws? Probably Meteor. Timberjack. How's it going? 10 people here hanging out. Admittedly, I've never used a Meteor head, but I've used plenty of Meteor pistons. 372 aftermarket cases, pop-up piston. Yeah. So the nice thing about the idea here is that you don't have to machine the base or the case to get a bump in compression. You can just use this piston basically. But at least in Larry's case, it seemed to be like the skirt here is actually too short. And the problem there is that you end up with an exceptionally high amount of intake, and like 85, Larry was saying. So the way to remedy that actually is to probably fill that in with epoxy. But if you don't really want to do that, then yeah. Right. So Larry, I forgive me. I didn't have a lot of chance to email you today. I was working. I'm really tired. Yeah. So Mastermind was using DevCon for a while, which is this super expensive aluminum epoxy, and I think he actually went back to JB Weld because he found out it wasn't any different. So, hey, Ronnie Buck, what's going on? 13 people here hanging out. That's cool. So Larry, yeah, as far as I remember Mastermind was using DevCon for a while to fill in intakes, but he ended up going back to JB Weld because there really wasn't a whole lot of point in using DevCon. You gotta rough it up really good in there, and pour in the JB Weld and let it sit overnight, and then grind it away as you need. It's holding up in mine. I've got two saws that have it, so actually it might be three at this point. If I remember right, I think my 660 has some JB Weld in it. I filled in both of my 346 XP and 350 both have the highway prototype top ends on them, and those had like I think it was like 80, 83 or 85 for intake, which was just weird. And normally they don't have quite that much intake, so I ended up filling them in. I don't see the vibration being too much of a problem, and I definitely don't see the heat being a problem in that location because you have constant airflow right through it. You have constant airflow through that spot, so it's not like it's going to generate a lot of heat. But yeah, I mean, the point being, like, if I was to make these for people, would I be expecting them to fill in the intakes? No. Right. So if it's a customer saw, again, yeah, you're probably not. I mean, if you're worried about risking a uh, a good OEM top end, I know. Mm. Oh, I'm shot. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just shot. So, yeah, it's a fine point. Is it really worth the risk for the added bump in compression to fill in the intake? Probably not. So that's kind of crappy. Bums me out. Oh well. Tim, I haven't had a problem with it, but you know, if I'm making pistons to drop into a saw, you know, you don't want to be like, oh, by the way, you might need to weld the intake. Actually, I got to do a little Volvo work here one of these days. Got to get on work on the Volvo. That stupid thing still isn't running right. I can't figure. I mean, I have not spent very much time on it, but I ran it the other day and the battery's dead again. I just don't trust it running around until they finally get it so it doesn't strand me, you know. Well, I believe I will buy a Meteor cylinder piston for a cut-off saw. Brandon, I wish you best of luck. What am I waiting on right now? I'm still waiting on rods. Still waiting on rods. I have some other stuff on order. I got a bunch of stuff on order. I have 2 orders for tools now that are back ordered. How was it? One guy actually is from the United States Agricultural Service, and so he's got like 36 steels to rebuild. Okay. My machinist builds very expensive dirt race machines, use epoxy to him, just told me some of it works. He told me just to have someone that works on saws to do their thing. Yeah, you know, have the head just machine normally, you know, have Mastermind do a head for you. Why not? What's the size of the cutoff saw cylinder? Yeah, I don't know, Dan. 18 people here. What's 18 people doing hanging out listening to me? Oh, that's who's here. Our moderator has just showed up. I'm tired, James. Are you out of the It's Tuesday. Are you out of the hospital? Oh yeah, Tim, I saw that. Walt is adding seal drivers. My head was just on my desk like that came too with a stiff neck. Yeah. You got a pulmonary embolism last night? That's not good. Hard to diagnose those. Those are nasty. You gonna be okay, James? Good. Pulmonary embolism is bad news. Not good at all. So yeah, so Tim, yeah, I guess Walt's adding all kinds of stuff. So I just, I was thinking about how to drive seals like today in the shower, but I still kind of come to the conclusion that you kind of got to do them by hand, and I don't know. It just well, James, I'm not sure I'm cheering anybody up tonight. I had kind of crappy day, but I guess not as bad of a day as you had. He using the form to get in touch with him? What do you mean? You mean Walt's using the forum? You mean like forestry forum? Sorry. Oh, yeah, OP forum. Yeah, OP. Yeah, OP. He doesn't post there much, but he does post his stuff there, so that's fine. I'm not posting there, so oh well. My next build, I still have to finish that 394, but really, um, what I'm thinking about, let's see, what I'm thinking about is getting that 394 done because like we got to get uh, the air horns good on there. Once I get the air horns good on there, then I'll consider that basically a completed project, and we'll just hopefully start printing 394 air horns, and then we're on to the next set of whatever for 3D printing, and we got to figure out that next project. As of right now, I'm not building any more saws. I'll do a repair for Dad, or if one of my tree guys really needs something, I can do that. But for the most part, I'm not doing that right now. I just have too much other stuff to do. I work like tomorrow. I actually get off early. I'm off at 2 tomorrow, but um, I was supposed to actually tomorrow. I was supposed to get a quote for siding and windows on the house. What's going on with the 3D printing? It's headed back to Eric. It left yesterday. We'll probably go back and forth a couple of times, which is fine. What I'm thinking of, what I'm thinking of doing, going forward as products that I might start reproducing. What I want to start looking at is I want to start looking at stuff that is no longer made by Husky. So, um, any type of plastics that I can either 3D print or potentially get injection molded. And I have some kind of top of the list kind of things that might actually be somewhat profitable. So the first things will be some of the simple stuff, air horns, possibly 272 air horn, possibly 262 air horns. But here's the problem with those. The 394 low top, the 262, similar to 262, both of those require these rubber bushing pieces. and the rubber seals, and the rubber seals are no longer made. So I either have to figure out how to come up with some type of a seal or how to reproduce rubber seals. I don't know how much. 262 top covers. Maybe, Dan. Maybe. Lovenox. Dan, for now, I'm thinking, at least initially, I think 288 high tops are going to be the ticket. But it's not like I have the time to do any of this stuff. You know, I don't. Nobody else is doing it, but I don't. It's not like I've. Why me? I don't know. I just have an idea, but it's gonna be. I think just to make injection molds is like $7,000. So I don't know if this is gonna pan out. James, buddy, we're all pulling for you. Yeah, no kidding. Time is priceless. You got it. So yeah, I want to kind of get stuff rolling. The tools are kind of starting to get rolling again, which is good. I need to get stock. I've sent an email. Let's see. Yeah, where are the thumbs up? I don't know. 22 here. 22 people here hanging out. That's crazy. If anybody wants to ask any questions, it's not like we got a great agenda here going. You guys are welcome to ask questions and all that stuff. So, yeah, I want to get products kind of rolling. Once everything starts rolling, then I could just start adding stuff, and hopefully the money just starts, this and that and whatnot, and we'll be good. But yeah, Dan, it's a good point. 262 top covers, Chili Expat family. How's it going? Hello from Farmington, Connecticut. um, there's a lot of 262 stuff that can be done. There's actually a lot of 262 parts that can be reproduced. So, which is cool. And I'm definitely going to look into that. Yeah, I'm ready for bed. I got to get up early tomorrow again. Greetings from Hungary, Whistle 194. Greetings! Hello from Farmington, Connecticut, USA. Sorry, I'm cooked. If you got any comments or questions, throw them up here. I'm reading everything right now. 1049 there. You've gone global, yeah, apparently. Well, Brian, we have a number of people from New Zealand, under the world there. From Chile, bottom of the world there. Larry, have a good night. Let me know if you need anything else or if I can help you in any way, buddy, okay? Timberzack, what kind of mix do you prefer and what ratio? I'm not an oil and gas guy. It's not me. Um, I mainly run 32, 40 to 1 ish, somewhere in there, with marine grade two stroke. I'm not, I don't use the super duper synthetics and all that. I just don't. For the amount that I run my saws and the convenience it is for me to tear something apart, I don't worry about oil and ratios and whatnot. Robert Zimmerman, message retracted. Okay. What's going on, Robert? Any questions, buddy? Yeah, the fuel and oil thing is not. Everybody wants to get into sharpening a chain, fuel and oil. They're not me. I'm good at sharpening chains. I'm not excellent, but I'm pretty good. Um, I'm good enough for me to cut with. Um, the fuel and oil that I mix, I use ethanol free fuel that we import from another state. Um, I usually go through it fast enough. I don't really worry about an old mix. I end up testing enough chainsaws that I just kind of go back and fine. So a lot of people get into that stuff, and it's not me. I don't get into those type of arguments. Um, I do have a couple of Husky 394s for sale if anybody's interested. They're still here hanging out on the shelf waiting to be picked up by somebody. 20 people here. There must be somebody that needs a 394. 21 people. Somebody needs a 394 for sure. I got so many of them, I'm selling them to get rid of them. Chris, greetings from Western Australia. Wow. Love to see idea how to modify a Hoozle 660 oiler to high output. Ice Road. Do they take Canadian Copex? No. Well, it's not true because PayPal does the PayPal will do the conversion for you. Ward off Durst Ratchet. Sorry, James. I feel for you. Love to see a deal how to modify a 660 oiler to high output. I think I thought I did one, and I'm not. I modified it, but I'm not sure it did what I wanted it to do. So I thought I made the video, but I don't know if I ever posted it, and because I'm not sure if it actually helped. I'm just not the expert on that, you know. To think, pulling apart the oiler is not a problem, and then I think if you want to, you can just buy the high output piston or something like that. I think you can just buy it. I don't know what the part number is offhand, but the pump piston you can just buy and just swap it out. No? 24 people now. Okay. Maybe easy. Yeah, Chris, it might be easier. Yeah, you're right. It might be easier just to either buy the whole pump or buy the piston. It's not a big deal to pull the pumps apart. Don't be afraid of that. There's just a little roll pin there that you got to pop out, and I think somebody online had a pretty good tutorial. I think it was on OPE. You just have to search for the 660. It was a pretty good tutorial on how to do that, how to basically modify the angle on the pump piston, and you were just basically making the angle a little steeper. So instead of a flat end, you were making it a little steeper, and it would travel a little further then. Yeah, when I did mine, I'm just not sure it helped that much. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Tough to quantify. It's a good question though. Um, I bet I have that video somewhere. I've just been doing this live stuff a whole lot more often rather than trying to make specific videos on this, that, or the other thing. And it's easier for me, and it's less convenient for you guys, I know, but it's a whole lot easier for me to do this live stuff than it is to make specific videos. It's really hard to make a really high quality video that's really short. That's really hard to do. As far as buying a new toolbox, I don't know. I'd like one. Um, I looked at my credit card bill last month, and that wasn't good at all. So it was a good thing I didn't buy the toolbox. I do pay off my credit card every month, so this one's going to be harder than most. What I did want to do is I did want to compare the toolbox that was there at Lowe's, the Craftsman toolbox, and go down to Harbor Freight and compare their toolboxes and see if it's because I think the Harbor Freight is actually for the size or whatever. The Harbor Freight is slightly more money, but the Harbor Freight's a little more versatile because you can get the side cabinets and whatnot. And what would I end up using it for? I don't know. I mean, I guess I could slap all this junk in there eventually. Gonna feel good to get the rest of the chainsaw stuff out of here, though. Definitely gonna do that. Eventually, gotta put all my chainsaw stuff out in the shed, and then focus on getting maybe power out in the shed. That'd be kind of cool. Put a couple of solar panels up on the roof. You know, get a large husky box, 72 bucks for 500 bucks. Bam Mill Bob, how's it going? Tim, that's sweet. How you gonna get it to me? Custom cutter. My Harbor Freight is the best I've bought. Of course, I don't have Snap on. Yeah, the Harbor Freight toolboxes seem to be good. I think for the amount that I'd use it. Oh, you got a large Husky toolbox, 72 inches for 500 bucks at Home Depot. That's a pretty sweet deal. Just the lower cabinet, Tim, because they have at Lowe's they had I think it was a 51, 51 or 52, and just the bottom box was 439. Eric's here. Welcome. Both top and bottom. That's sick. Do you have a link, Tim? Was that like a deal or what? Because that's a pretty sick deal. 72-inch boxes for 500 bucks. That's killer. I'm gonna have to look that up. My daughter's up there practicing her violin. It's 9 o'clock at night. Actually, if you guys haven't seen, I did a modification to the Harbor Freight toolbox a long time ago. You guys probably can't see it. Double discount if you use your Lowe's card today, tomorrow. I don't have a Lowe's card, so I spent too much money in that store. But yeah, I modified the Harbor Freight toolbox specifically. What I ended up doing was I flipped it upside down, and I reinforced the bottom of the box with just plywood, so that the bottom of the box wouldn't be quite so flexy. And then what I did was I took casters and I moved them further to the extremes on the box, so that they're like an inch or two out further, which means the box is more stable. So it's much stiffer and much more stable. Eric, the package went out Monday, I'm pretty sure, so went out the mail Monday night, so it's on its way. Gas shock on the lid, electric strip rubber mats, has wheels in the middle. The downside to wheels in the middle is it gets weird getting it up against a wall, but I could always double up some plywood on the bottom, screw it to it, and then put much heavier duty casters on the end if I felt like it. Ken's probably here, he's just in the background. He's lurking. Eric, I left you another piece in there. There's a gray piece in there to look at as well. And it would also be like an ideal part to 3D print. It's smaller and probably a lot less complex, actually. I'm here, but different, Ken. Custom cutter, you count just fine. Very happy you're here. Actually, what else did I buy? I went to Cheap Chainsaw Parts on eBay. I got a bunch of goodies from there that are coming. They have all kinds of stuff that I ended up picking up. Just, I find things like 394 choke rods. Well, guess what? 394 choke rods. Those are not being produced anymore. And to be honest, I'm not sure if this would be a great part to 3D print. This is a pretty stout, pretty stiff part. And it's got to be like really, glass fiber, whatever. And I just don't think that this would be an easy thing to 3D print. So I have to hoard them. Bandmail Bob, we got a Harbor Freight this year, about 35 minutes. Looked at the toolboxes, was impressed. The drawer slides are good. And I've actually done videos on the drawer slides, because the one behind me I picked up at a pawn shop for $200, but I ended up needing to redo the drawer slides in a couple of drawers. And dealing with Harbor Freight service is like impossible, because they don't understand that the drawer slides are actually left and right, and it actually says on the drawer slide R and L. so you know which one's which, and they know exactly what box it goes to. But there's also no way to tell. Apparently, there's no way for customer service to tell the factory to ship left or right. So they basically ship whatever they ship. So I needed right-handed slides, and they shipped me two left-handed ones or something stupid, and I'm like, what the heck, you know? And it was like 8 or 10 weeks to ship that stuff. But eventually I got it, and now I've got spares. But yeah, those are some of the earlier videos that I did, was actually on redoing this box. And have since then I've picked up another box, just the lower part of it, and that's out in the shed right now. But I figure maybe bring another small box like this one in here, or bring this one out to the shed and maybe put a big one in here or something. I don't know. Brian Brady, you take care, okay? Busy day. I got a busy day too. I hear you. I want the 7-drawer cart with lid. Oh, the little cart? Yeah, yeah. I want it all. I have an old Snap-on road box to rebuild. Well, the beauty of the Snap-on stuff is they've got all the parts, right? You can, even back to way back when, you can order the parts. It's just going to cost you an arm and a leg. You ever use muriatic acid? Yeah, sand paint. Yeah. Okay, muriatic acid, any pointers? No. The only thing I've used muriatic acid for is like stripping the walls, the concrete walls. I have not used muriatic acid on a cylinder head, if that's what you're asking. I mainly clean up a cylinder head with like I use 50 grit sandpaper on my Dremel tool with a mandrel that I made out of a drywall screw that I put a slice in, which you guys have seen me do port work and whatnot with that. But that's what I actually use to get the aluminum transfer off of cylinder heads. I probably should have some muriatic acid just for that type of situation, but I have not done it. Working on 562. Okay. This place is 50 grit toilet paper. What? They don't give you a Charmin, James? Come on. Tell them. Come on. Guys with pulmonary embolism should automatically get Charmin. Sorry, James. You got it rough, buddy. John Wayne paper. Yeah, real man's paper. Yeah, good. Uh huh. I don't know. All right, it's after 9 o'clock. I better go to bed. Anybody wants 394s, obviously they can contact me. Uh, Anybody wants tools, they can email me. I still haven't heard back from my guy. I thought they'd be done by now. Um, the rods are at the machinist, so as soon as he gets a little bit of time, they'll be done, you know? So, yeah, as soon as they're done, we'll get those shipped out. I have 2 pre-orders already. If anybody else wants to pre-order, let me know. Here's my email. Just get rid of the ampersands and email me if you got any questions or anything like that. Don't buy Scott's. Get back to work, Brian. Night, James. You take care. Tim, thanks for coming around. Appreciate it. Brandon Viles, have a great night. To the Kens and expats in Chile, all you guys. Hi to the guy in Hungary and in Western Australia and whoever else was here. We had lots of other people here, which were really cool. Thank you very much for dropping in. Appreciate it, guys. I really do. And if anybody needs anything, they can email me. Everybody be safe, okay? Miss the live chats and last 2 visit watched and enjoyed. Yeah, Bob, come by anytime. If you got any questions, you can always shoot them to me. And it's a whole lot more fun doing live chats when everybody's got questions and comments and all that stuff. I have a huge amount of fun with just interacting with you guys. Yeah, the air horn was really good. And like I said, it's back with Eric, so we're gonna get it even better. Flats out. Good seeing you, buddy. All right. Take care, guys. Have a great night.